ancient city of Corinth had been burned to the ground in the Civil War. The collapse of Greece's economy and the riots and military action that followed had left many of the major cities in ruined war zones. Corinth had been one of the worst affected. That was when Hades, the lord of the Underworld, arrived and claimed the rubble that had been left. In less than 20 years, the city had been rebuilt and was turning a profit again. Hades wasn't the only old god that had come out of hiding, but the new city of Styx recovered the fastest, and Greece's new currency, the Nea drachmi, had come pouring in. Ariadne had her doubts as to whether the god of the dead thing was true, but she did know they had to be something other. Hades had been prominent in the news since the Great Collapse, and whenever the cameras managed the rare shot of him, he still looked like a sleek 40-something businessman. Whatever Hades was, his media queen Medusa was made of the same stuff. CEO of Serpentine Industries, her skyscraper sat only a few floors lower than Hades' own pillar of black stone and steel. She ran a constant PR campaign worldwide to encourage trade and tourism to Styx, and it worked. Her blood-red hair and green eyes were famous the world over. As for the rumor that she had snakes in her hair, Ariadne had never seen them in any of Medusa's news programs. She was a recluse, but with the internet at her feet, Medusa didn't ever have to leave Serpentine Tower again. Like most kids in the Hellas district, Ariadne had grown up in the shadow of those two monstrous towers and with the rumors about the members of the Court of Styx. There was a running joke internationally that Hades had come back to make the New York City of Greece and had ended up with Gotham instead. The people who lived in Styx didn't find this joke amusing, because they knew that Hades Acheron would eat the toughest of Gotham for breakfast before picking his teeth with Batman's bones. Only the tough survived on the streets of Styx, but despite its dark underbelly, Ariadne still loved the chaotic, violent, and often beautiful sprawl of it. Ariadne made it back to her apartment just as the sun was rising. It was a tiny one-bedroom in a slightly less dodgy neighborhood than the one she was born in. It was the one place in the world that felt like home. She had filled it with pieces of furniture and art from thrift shops, and even managed to keep a houseplant alive. It wasn't much. It certainly wasn't the opulent luxury she'd be living in if she had stayed at the temple, but at least she didn't feel like every moment she was there, her debt was rising. Ariadne had a long shower and climbed into bed, knowing she had precious few hours before Minos decided to summon her to the temple for a full debriefing of the Botsaris job. One day soon, you'll never have to answer that bastard's call again, she said to herself, like she did every day. I'll kill him, Leah. I promise. Curling into a ball under the blanket, Ariadne closed her eyes and let the nightmares take her. Ariadne managed to get 5 hours of sleep before she was in a taxi, heading into the city center. The Diogenes district consisted of 6 blocks in the very heart of Styx, and it had more money than the rest of the city combined. It housed not only the Acheron and Serpentine towers, but also 5 banks, 2 courthouses, and more overpriced jewelry and luxury item stores than one city needed. It never ceased to surprise Ariadne that the city she knew disappeared as soon as the taxi entered the Dio bubble, and everything was clean, shiny, and expensive-looking. The taxi stopped in front of the temple, and she paid the man a handful of drachmi before climbing out of the car. The temple had earned its name thanks to the row of